So I have the new Callaway Big Bertha B21 in my hand, which has got some big claims. So you've got your normal suspects, longer, straighter, more fairways. So I mean, that's a major claim from a driver, which is pretty standard. So if a company's going to launch a new driver, to be fair, they're not going to say it's going to go shorter and you're going to miss more fairways. I mean, anything that gets new launched, so if it's a new car, it's going to go faster, it's slicker, a new phone, it's got more gadgets, it's got more capability. So to be fair to the companies, they're going to go for that pitch. The biggest claim that the Callaway Big Bertha B21 is that it reduces the shot to the right from the internal technology in the driver rather than being offset. So I am a fan of Callaway drivers. I've got the Callaway Rogue, so we can have a little bit of comparison to that. So right, welcome to Mark Henry Golf. Let's get stuck in and smash this new Callaway driver down there. Alright, so when purchasing a driver, it's very personal preference. So this is my opinion, but the bit that I think is very important is one, you've got to like the look of the driver, how it sits behind the ball. So as you can see in the screen now, it's a very nice looking driver, and how they've set the driver up, it's a slightly different shape to my Rogue, which is a more rounded shape. This is more pear-shaped at the back, as you can see, which I think sits very nicely and helps square the face up. You've got your patterns on the driver, which are very clear at address. A lot of people tend to hood the driver in, as you can see in the screen now, and then you would lose that display on the face of the driver. So I think that's a massive benefit. You've got your two red lines at the front there, arcing round, which also helps square the club face up. So overall, a very good looking hittable driver, which is then gives you a good mindset, good positive approach to when smacking that driver, hopefully long and straight down the middle, as it says. The next point to cover is how it feels off the face. Some drivers feel quite hard, some feel quite soft, some are loud, some are quite quiet. It's whatever gives you that confidence that it is smashing it down there and it feels nice to hit. Right, let's hit one down there and see what this one feels like, shall we? I'm used to hitting a Rogue down there, that feels quite soft. So right, let's have a go with our new Big Bertha B21. So yeah, it feels quite nice off the face, feels quite solid, not particularly hard, not particularly soft. Quite a nice feel, I would say, slightly different to my Callaway Rogue, so a little bit harder off the face, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It feels it's got a nice bit of oomph behind it, and it sits very nicely behind the ball. Right then, so let's move to our next point, which is it stops it going off to the right, which will be the main selling feature of this driver, that it hits it further, straighter, and reduces that shot to the right. So let's hit some down there and see if it can achieve that. Right, now for our performance test. So I'm going to do 30 balls in total. The first 10 with the B21 to see how this bad boy performs. The second set of 10 I'm going to use the B21 again, but this time with a slightly weaker right hand. So that means the V is a little bit more over the top of the grip, which will cause the club face to open on the swing. And then let's see how this technology performs, the internal technology in reducing the shot off to the right. Then I will hit another 10 balls with my current Rogue driver in comparison to the first 10 and see which one performs the best. Right then, let's get stuck in. Right, so that's my first set of 10 done. Overall, not too bad, one big miss to the right. So one miss out of 10 shots down there I think is pretty steady. As you can see by the strike pattern, the strike didn't have anything to do with the miss. So that was just the club face being open on the way through. So overall, that is a pretty steady start. But now our next 10, we're going to really put it to the test, and I'll hit it down there with the slightly weaker grip, and then let's see how that counteracts this. So potentially with this weaker grip, it will miss this fairway, the rough, and go onto the other fairway, no problem normally. So let's see how it holds up against that challenge. Alright, so that was the 10 with the weaker grip, which I will show you the results in 2 secs. I just wanted to hit one rogue drive down there with the weaker grip, and in comparison to see where that drive ends up, if it's the same or not. Now I have almost missed that, and that has missed the fairway massively to the right and almost missed the other fairway to the right. So we're having a look at comparison on the overhead view of the grouping of the B21 and that rogue shot there. Right, so that's 10 shots down there, one shot with the rogue, as you can see in the screen. The B21 has missed all the fairway to the right, as I'd expect with that weaker grip, but it's only just missed it, so it's got a consistent group in there with the blue dots. I hit one with the rogue down there with a weaker grip, again very similar to what I did with the B21, as much as I can replicate that, as that's physically possible to do. And you can see where the red dot is, that is a big miss to the right. So in comparison to that, the B21 with that weaker grip did do very well, and the spin on it was quite low, the side spin, so that's a big factor. So the main bit that the B21 is trying to achieve is reducing the shot to the right. It has achieved that. It's not necessarily going to achieve it so that you then hit it dead straight. It will just help reduce that big exaggerated shot to the right, where potentially you would then lose the ball. So right, now let's do the 10 balls with the rogue, have a comparison with the first set of 10 to see which one actually performs the best in regards to the overall numbers, and then we'll have a look at the averages at the end. Right then, rogue time. Right, all 30 shots completed. As I said, there's the averages in the screen. So the B21 did do quite well. The rogue slightly outperformed it on distance, but the B21 was more consistent. And to be fair, the rogue is my driver, so I do feel more used to that one. But overall, the B21 did reduce the shot to the right. Whether it will reduce that big banana, I'm not sure any driver can do that, but in comparison to an offset driver, it sits a lot more comfortable behind the ball. It looks a lot better looking behind the ball. The graphics are good, so that will help you square the club face up and have a more consistent loft on the club face, but still be confident that you're not necessarily going to lose that shot massively off to the right. I think you'll still get a slight curve on the ball, but it will certainly help prevent a big lost ball into the woods. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Any questions or comments, please send them through. Give us a good thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon.